Very good morning, students. Sai Ram. Welcome back to our science period. Children, you know very well our 17th chapter is going on, that is Introduction to Biotechnology. This session I am going to continue this chapter. Okay. So can you remember, children, which one is going on? Types of animal tissue. That is, there are four types of animal tissue: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and fourth one is nervous tissue. So now fourth one today we will discuss. Okay, can you remember last session what we discussed? Yes, we discussed about muscular tissue, that is types of muscular tissue. There are three types of muscular tissue: striated muscles, non-striated muscles, and cardiac muscles. So what is the structure of these muscles and where it is present and what is that? Yes, function of these muscles. These all things we discussed. Isn't it, children? Next one is nervous tissue. Okay. See here, already you had studied about nervous tissue in 15th chapter, life process in living organisms. See here, children, this is neuron, isn't it? So our nervous tissue is made up of, that is this one. Which one is? Yes, neuron. This is the structure of nervous tissue, that is neuron. Okay. See here, children, already you had studied about this one. This is called what? Dendrites. And next one is, this one is what? Cell body. And here, yes, this is cell body and this one is nucleus. Okay. So here cell body, here which one is this? Cytoplasm is there. Okay. And this long thread, that is called what? Axon. And here this is, yes, see here, children, and here next nerve cell will start, isn't it? So that nerve cells, see here, this is the neuron. This is the structure of neuron. Already you had yes, you had studied in that 15th chapter. Okay. See, next one is, yes, that introduction. People respond to stimuli like touch, sound, odor, color, and more with the help of nervous tissue. So if anyone is touching you, then how it will come to know? Yes, with the help of what? Nervous tissue, isn't it? So meanwhile, cells of the nervous tissue are especially manufactured to become excited and conduct that excitation from one part of the body to another. Isn't it, children? So already this thing we discussed. Yes, how that information is integrated and how it is transferring from one part of our body to that another part of our body with the help of nerves. Okay, so how that, yes, information is integrated and how it is transferring from one nerve cell to another nerve cell. These all things we discussed in that chapter. Okay, and the next one is, see here, the cell body that contains the cytoplasm and nucleus. Okay, yes, cell body that contains what? Cytoplasm and the nucleus is the main part of every nerve cell. A large number of small branched fibers called dendrites. See here, children, here only that information is integrated and transferred. Okay, so a large number of small branched fibers called what? Dendrites also arise from the cell body. See here, children. Yes, this is the small branched, that is fibers like dendrites. Okay, and this is what? Cell body, and here this one is what? Yes, nucleus, and here this is cytoplasm, and this one is what? Axon. Yes, third point you have to see here, one of the fibers however is extremely long, even up to 1 meter, and it is called what? The axon. Okay, so see here, one of the fibers however is extremely long. Okay, that is what? Up to 1 meter, that is called what? The axon. Understood now? So several nerve cells are bound together using connective tissue to form a nerve. Okay, children, so nervous tissue is located, where it is located? It is located in the brain, spinal cord, and the network of nerves spread all through the body. So that you know, isn't it? So nervous tissue, where it is located? It is located in the brain, spinal cord, and it look like what? The network, like structure of nerves that is spreading all through the our body. Understood now, children? Yes, so we discussed about the types of animal tissue. 4 types of animal tissue. This one is last, that is what? Nervous tissue. Okay, how that information is integrated and how it is transferring from one nerve cell to another nerve cell. These all things we already discussed. Isn't it, children? Yes, next one we will discuss about plant cells. Okay, so animal cells we discussed. Next one we will move to plant cells. Are you ready? See here, children, next we will move to plant tissue. Okay, so here one question is there in your textbook. What is the main difference between the growth of animals and plants? So you know very well that an animal will move from one place to another place. Plants both are living things, isn't it? Animal and plants both are living things, but that main difference is what? That animal, it can move from one place to another place for their shelter and food. At the same time, plants, that is, there is no movement, that is, it will stand in a one place. Okay, so but here your question is the growth of animals and plants. What is the main difference? See, first point here, 2 point I have given here. The growth of plant growth, that is what? Growth continues throughout the life of the plant. So is it look like in an animal? No, isn't it? So in plants, the growth continues throughout the life of the plant. Okay, but here second one is, say here the growth involves increases in the number of parts. So second one is what? The growth involves increases in the number of parts. Okay, and what about animal growth here? See, first point, the growth takes place for definite periods before maturity. Okay, so we have some that growth takes place at a particular period. For example, that human, we are animal, isn't it? So the growth takes place for definite periods of time, that is before maturity. Here it does not involve increase in the number of parts. So in plants, that is, parts will be increased, but here animals, that is, it does not involve increase in the number of parts. So which part will be increasing in plants, that we will discuss. Okay, so next one, see here. Yes, why does the growth of a plant occur only at specific parts of the plant body? See here, children, this is one part. Just hereafter you have to observe here. This is a part of plant. Okay, so here this is top region. Only the top region is getting yes growth. So that's why here one question is there. Why does the growth of a plant occur only at specific parts of the plant body? What might be the reason? See here. Yes, the growth of plants occurs only in certain specific region. Okay, because the dividing tissue, that is known as meristematic tissue. Okay, so one particular type of tissues are there in that specific region, that is located only at those points. Okay, so in plants, that contains what? The specific tissue, dividing tissue, that is called what? Meristematic tissue. So this tissue only it's responsible for growth of the plant. So that meristematic tissues are present, are located at a particular point of that plants. That's why only that specific region of the plant is getting growth. Understood now? So which one is responsible for that? Yes, meristematic tissue. So what is meant by meristematic tissue and what is the structure? What are the types of that meristematic tissue? We will see. Meristematic tissue. See here, it is found in specific parts of a plant. Meristematic tissue helps in the development of those parts of the plant. Okay, so that meristematic tissues, that unique characteristics of that meristematic tissue is what? It is found in specific part of a plant. Okay, and it helps in the development of those parts of the plant. So where it is located in that part, it's getting developed. Okay, with the help of meristematic tissue. Second point, the cells of the meristematic tissue are of thick cytoplasm, See here children, conspicuous nucleus, that means clear nucleus, okay, and a thin cell wall, all compactly packed together. So this is what structure of, yes, meristematic tissue. It is thick cytoplasm, that cells have thick cytoplasm, very clear nucleus, okay, and a thin cell wall, and all compactly packed together. Next point is, vacuoles are usually absent in these cells. So children, in your 8th standard you have studied about vacuoles, that is one cell organelles, okay. While studying that plant and animal cells, you might have seen that vacuoles, it is present in the cells, isn't it children? So that vacuoles are usually absent in this meristematic tissue. These cells are highly active, okay. These cells are what? Highly active. Main function of the meristematic tissue is to help with the plant growth. Understood now? What is the main function of this meristematic tissue? Yes, that tissue will help to, yes, grow a plant, okay. Meanwhile, based on the location, there are 3 types of meristematic tissue. That is, based on the location, meristematic tissues are of 3 kinds. That is, yes, apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. So based on the location, there are 3 types of meristematic tissue. First one is apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Okay, we will see now what that location and function of this meristematic tissue. Children, see here, first one is what? Apical meristem. Okay, so where it is located? It is present at the growing tip of a stem and roots. Okay, where it is located? Just imagine children, apical meristem, it is located at the growing tips of stem and roots. Okay, and apical means the tip region. Function, it increases the length of the plant body. Yes, here this is stem and this is root. So in the tip region it is present. Okay, which one? Apical meristem. So what is the function here? Yes, because of the apical meristem, it's getting growth, height is increasing. So that's why this function is what? It increases the length of the plant body. Second one is intercalary meristem. Okay, it is where it is located? It is located at the base of the leaf. Okay, base of the leaves. This meristem helps in the elongation of internodes, growth of branches, formation of leaves and flowers. Understood children? So where it is located? It is located at the base of leaves. Okay, just imagine. So what is the function of this intercalary meristem? It helps in the elongation of internodes. See here children, this is the plant. Yes. Yes children, just you have to see here, this is the leaf. Okay, this is the plant and this one is leaf. Okay, so this is called what? This region, this one is called what? Intercalary. Yes, this one is what? That this is one node, this is another node. This region is called what? Internode. Okay, so what is the main function of this intercalary meristem? This meristem helps in the elongation of internodes because this meristem is present at the base of the leaf. Okay, so here what will happen? That elongation of internodes, growth of branches, okay, formation of leaves and flowers. These are the function of intercalary meristem. Understood children? So internode means this region in between the two. This is one node, this is another node. Internode means this one. Clear? Next one is, yes, lateral meristem. Location where it is located? It is located at the lateral region of the stem and the roots. Lateral, that means side. Function means it increases girth, that means diameter of the root and stem. Understood now? So lateral meristem, it is located at the lateral region of the stem and roots. That's why it is called what? Lateral meristem. And here it helps to increase the diameter of root and stem. Understood, children? So today we discussed about that nervous tissue, that is fourth type of animal tissue, and plant tissue, that is what is the difference between the growth of animals and plants. Next one is what we discussed, yes, meristematic tissue. And types of meristematic tissue, that is apical meristem, next one is intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Okay, so remaining thing in next class we will discuss. Okay, so children, I hope you understood this one. Yes, thank you children. Sai Ram.